I have no idea what just happened there.
What?
I have no idea what happened there. I didn't get the countdown. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Hello, Andy. We're in.
We're
Andy
in.
Hilson.
Okay. Right.
We're
Hello,
in.
guys. I don't know what happened there because I'm just looking at my. I
And
have to share my whole screen for this to work.
Yeah.
So you're seeing what I see.
I got nothing. It went straight in. So hello. Hello, sausages.
All kinds of technical problems. Right. So this is the Awakening. And it is an unusual game, both in the way that it's played, sort of the mechanisms of the game, but also the story. So it's got an end of the world apocalypse, sort of Ragnarok feel to it. And you can see this artwork is from one of the DLCs, The Return of the Giants. And you're basically like a tribe sponsored by a particular deity, and you're trying to deal with the coming end of the world.
Cool.
And it's got really, really close like management of individual characters, but the game scales up. I'm just wondering about the settings.
Duncan FX has joined us. Hello, sir.
Need to turn the music off, I think. Probably. So yeah, at the very beginning you make some settings. So this is there's now a version 2 of this game, by the way. I'm so out of touch with computer games because I didn't have a desktop PC or play computer games for about 5 years, but I really did enjoy this game. So as you're likely to have multiple playthroughs, there's multiple endings, and so if I pick Mokosh and I do okay with her, next time my dudes will be a little bit better to get some bonuses to kind of help you complete the game. So fundamentally, the 2 choices at the moment, you see, you can unlock the other gods. Mokosh is the Earth Mother, looking like a bit of a creepy witch type dude, and Svarog is the Sun and Fire god.
Now, is this fantasy? I've never heard of these deities. I'm guessing it's a fantasy-based.
I don't know whether
or is there any?
I don't know whether these are the old gods of Eastern Europe or not.
Okay.
I don't know, but it has like Baba Yaga and things like that. It's very heavily
right,
Eastern European flavor game.
Cool. Which one? Let's go with Svarog because he looks like a douche.
He looks more hench. Okay, so difficulty we go for normal, village focus, warriors, gatherers, or craftsmen. What do you reckon, John? You're going to go with warriors, aren't you?
Way! Yeah, man.
Okay. So, the god of sun and heavenly fire, the first son of Perron. When the darkness came, it almost took your life, filling your very being with its curse. Oh, and it's gone. Right. I'm going to skip the tutorial.
Bye tutorial.
Going to be very, very spoon feedy, and my purpose here is to show you this game, right? But it does give you a few
minutes. Give it a play. See what's going on.
Started. Okie dokie. So here is the world as we know it. Look at that. That's the world as we know it.
That's a funky little HUD on the screen there.
Yeah. So. There are ladies. So one of the things that's different about this compared to a traditional 4X game, you never really get another town.
It's just the one.
This is our community. This is where it is. This is always be what it will be. And these are the things that we can harvest in this area. But what you do is you send out expeditions and they do some gathering of their own.
Okay.
So these 3 models are not random. These are actually 3 of our villagers that are in this party. Let's pick the 3 that are at the front. So you can see in our village, this is quite a good start, actually. We got you can harvest the tiles immediately around the village. So we've got string and wood in the village. Very heavy crafting system in this game, by the way.
Magic
mushrooms outside the village. And then these grayed out ones, dark wood and clay, we haven't got the tech for yet.
Boo.
The fish is a little bit further away. Experience points and tech are global. So once we go from 5, we're on 5 towards 9 experience to level up. Everyone in our community will level up at that point.
Sweet.
Pew. What else? Right. So this cycles through your groups. Here, this takes us back to our town, our village. So you can see we can gather these resources that we mentioned, and crafting and construction, as was mentioned there. So what does that actually look like? Oh.
Bit of rustling there.
Bit of rustling, yeah, absolutely.
Couple of comments whilst you're adjusting oneself. Andy Hilton says a coming of age story involving giants. You see,
coming of age story involving giants.
Duncan FX is. He says he's been busy playing Phoenix Point.
Oh, really?
He's hooked. He's hooked now.
Mate, it's a great little game. Did you get into it because you'd seen us playing it?
Well, it looks like it. Glad I watched you two playing. Your mate Bill's just showed up. Hello, guys, says Bill Bass.
So,
Baggins Bass.
In the gathering section, you can see it's showing us that people who've got a particular skill. So these two have each got a skill. This one is telling us, because it's related but not the same, it's got a crafting skill, so he can manufacture. And this one has no particular skills. So when you plop them in, different resources are going to take different amounts of time to produce different amounts of material.
Right, okay.
And it's also giving us a little tooltip on here to tell whether, look, mushrooms, you can eat them, wood, you can burn it. Because you're going to use wood every day for campfires, and you're going to use food every day for eating.
Fact.
And the collection system, so you'll see when we complete a cycle of mushrooms, we'll get 14 mushrooms, and we need 80 points towards that. So if I plop her in, so she's got 4 skills, she's providing 40 of that. So in 2 turns, we will complete this. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if I plop another one in, you see that's only gone up to 60 because you have a main dude and then some helpers. So it encourages you to sort of spread your skilled people around a little bit. And then these unskilled people, well, let's put her in and you'll see it's gone from 40 to 42. She makes effectively no real difference.
Wow. Sack her.
Yeah. Because she's not a gatherer.
She's not a nothing. She's not nothing.
In the crafting, this is the real interesting part about the game, I think. So if we just look at something simple like cooked meals, so this is one crafting recipe, but you can see we're going to have different outputs depending on what we put in. So we've put in meat, so let's try and do that. Two meat, and that's going to produce meat.
Meat and meat produces
meat. Jerky. Look, it's going to produce jerky.
All right.
So yeah, that's what went in. All right, that's going to produce jerky. Whereas we don't have other food materials to put into here, but we get different outcomes. These are going to make like a vegetable stew or a fish stew or whatever. And on the food one, it's quite simple. But if we will look at crafting a basket, we might be able to do this. Right, so if I put string in there, so you'll see it says here, primary material is like a bushel of wheat there. Actually, is that? No, it's not. I don't have one.
Primary material is whatever the hell that is. What is that?
Yeah. That is wheat, I think.
Wheat?
Yeah. So, but I could put this green stuff in there. That is actually vines. I could put vines or string, because vines is like an improved fiber. And I can use as my catalyst, I can use wood or I can use charcoal. Now, these are going to, although if you put different things in, you're going to get a different quality of object out the other end of it. So if I use wheat and string and wood, I'm just going to get a really basic one. But if I use something else and this vine and wood, I'm going to get a better one. And that's one of the things that's a little bit more experimental about the game, which is quite interesting. And then this is for making buildings for your community. And again, this is still the case. So in the primary material, it says wood, but there's actually dark wood and elven wood and ancient wood. And if I make a better version of this building, it will be more effective.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's quite good.
It's not too complex. It's just that there are, 3 or 4 different ways of making a building. Way!
Right, so this is looking in the village screen, so there's going to be lots of bits here. But first off, if I uncheck the equipped, that changes it a lot, because you have a huge level of customization with these people. Arguably too much, but a lot of it you can really ignore. So each of these people, there's 4 people in my village and 4 children, and this is the stuff that we had. Yeah, you got some filters down the side, but and it's telling us, look, Zuzia is a fighter, these 2 are gatherers, and this one is a crafter, I think.
So she's not useless.
She's not useless. No,
she goes and beats stuff up.
I love the art style in this game, but it doesn't adapt to how you've equipped them. So Zuzia looks like this, but is actually
and will forever look like that, right?
An amethyst sword.
But she has a sword and shield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas if we go back to Yarnia, she's got a training sword, and Radzaya has got a citrine axe. Pavel is a craftsman. Yeah. Okay. So wandering monsters will attack your village. Minus supplies. This is like, okay, what fuel are you going to burn? What food are you going to eat? And if you look down here, 1 food variety is carried. The more food types we eat, the more stats that increase. Because if I go back to these people and hover over her, can you see down the bottom? She has lots of stats.
There are quite a few stats there, sir.
Yeah. And that's not all of them. They're just the ones that she has. Right. So this is the same with your expedition. You can have as many of these as you want, but obviously monsters are out here. So just sending 1 dude off on his own isn't a smart move.
A bit risky.
Yeah.
Quick question from Bill, your mate Bill. He says,
yes.
Children are stackable. Does it mean you can get 3 bunk beds?
That is a fact. Children are stackable. Yeah. I'm going to put you over there. Right.
Can you sell them?
Can you sell them? There will be opportunities to sell them, yes. Because this is very story driven. That's telling me about my broader settlement. There's 4 people. There's 21 turns of food and 5 turns of fuel. And in researching, your research is essentially just the materials that you can harvest and to unlock crafting recipes. So at the moment, we've got food, basic food. Do we want to unlock armor? Do we want to unlock bows, etc.? Let's unlock 1-handed axes.
Yay!
And that was available to us as an advancement point, you see. All right. Anyway, so the gist of the game is to realize you cannot do very much from just your settlement, but that is your population, where it's going to grow, where you're going to nurture it. You have to send out expeditions. You're going to have to deal with things. I can see some ruins off the edge here.
Yeah, that looks good. Go check them out.
Go explore them. So we've got move. It's got a movement point system. So look,
it's got hexes. Awesome.
Hexes treasure. Look, there's cherries there, mate. Cherries.
So
you can, after you've moved them, I've used 1 of my 5 movement points. I could camp up and I could start gathering the cherries. But if I plop everyone in here, you'll see that I am not going to get any cherries in 1 day.
Boo! How is that
take me
possible?
4 days to get 1
4 days to get some cherries. That's a joke.
Because this is the very beginning of the game. I have none of my gatherers are in this expedition. My gatherers are at home.
Oh.
The couple that.
But come on, how difficult is it to pick some friggin' cherries, man?
Well, enough cherries to feed your village and your stackable children.
Yes.
So, and you've got the seasons and so forth over here. So I'm going to pass the turn for the day. And it's telling us, villagers are idle. So who's not got a task? Oh, it's him. he's not really a villager. He just didn't fit in because you can only stack up to 5. But we didn't get any cherries, and we're not going to sit here for 3 days just getting cherries. I'm just showing you. All right, so we're going to move to here, and we're going to explore.
Ooh.
Some ruins of an old city engulfed in mystery. Now, depending on who you are and what skills you have and what narrative path you're taking, it says 4 options unavailable. There's a lot more things can happen here.
Oh, man.
At the moment, we've just got search, and it's showing us 1 skull difficulty. Permadeath is very much a feature of this game. So it gives you a little bit of a leg up by warning you how dangerous it is.
And open some old dusty cellar. As the heavy doors crack, you are swarmed by some crazed bats.
Swarmed by crazed bats. So
crazed
now,
bats! Turn to page 57.
Very much, yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
Fighting fantasy. 4 deformed bats and 3 hulking rats. Skills used this combat. Now, all types of skill challenges are used using the same system that we're about to go into, and it's just telling us these are all the skills we potentially have available. It looks like a lot, but most of these are generic. Most of these are generic. And some of these, like this poison effect, is going to be somebody who's got a weapon with 2 points of poison damage on it, when a bat's got about 8 hit points. You know, so it's not that big. It looks more important than it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that auto-resolving this would kill it, but that's not what we're here to do, is it? Let's show you this.
Man.
This is what's special about this game, and I really like it. Is all of your characters are now converted into action cards.
Action cards.
And because we've got advantage, it's giving us the option to accept this. So I'm never going to get different cards. These are all my dudes.
Yeah.
It's just these are in the front rank, and these are in the second rank. Now, just looking at this,
dude, bloke.
One of my principal fighter dude is in the back rank here.
Boo.
But let's go with it. Okay. So we'll keep on playing. Now, this goes through a series of turns where we play a card, right? Seems logical. The ones on the left, these are my guys in the front rank.
Yeah.
You fight the next monster on the right. So the order in which we place these cards is quite important. So if I put
swat the bat, says Andy Hilton.
Swat the rat. It's a hulking rat, mate. Rat's got 6 hit points and 6 remaining, and does 5 damage. So if I put Sicheslava, I had to pick that one first, didn't I? If I was to select her now, she's going to get put here, and the first thing that will happen is that rat is going to hit her for 5 damage, and she's got 7 hit points. So that's pretty grim. So I'm going to take Ignac, because
what a great name.
He's got 14 hit points, but he's also got 4 armor and does 18 damage.
Wait.
So that's my option. And you see he's put the +4 up there. It's added his armor to his hit points. So the first 4 damage he takes will come off his armor. And when we proceed to the turn, the rat's going to hit him for 5 damage. Then he's going to hit the next card for 18 damage and 2 poison. All right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I don't think
how do you get rid of that first rat then if you can only ever sort of attack the next thing coming out?
Oh, unless there's nothing there, then it'll work the other way.
Right.
Now, these guys over here, you see, this is quite interesting. I can place these in the fight now, but they're going to miss the first turn. So if I was to put this guy up, so he might have been interesting to put in here, because he would get hit by the rat, but he's got armor.
Quite a lot of it.
Yeah, because there's actually, it fights 2 rounds and then you redraw. But the people that you have back here, you'll see they have other skills listed on here.
Yes.
He's in the fighting line. You can actually just use their skill, and they'll apply their skill to the person on the furthest to the right, provided their skill level. So, like first action 5, this one can make any character level 5 or below move to the front of the queue.
Okay.
The queue is actually a really safe place to be. You might be
Like
going to the
that
front
rat.
because you kill things, but if you go to the front of the queue, nothing hits you until last. But anyway, I've placed my card. I don't think I can place another. I'll try that. No, I can't. So,
Oh, what a surprise!
plays a
It's a
hulking rat that
hulking
does
rat.
1 damage, but it's also going to be utterly squished by this. So I'm going to squeeze this guy in here. Because he has to go in the first round of fighting, and I'm worried about him getting squished.
Is this like deployment phase then? Because nothing's done anything yet, right?
Yeah, deployment phase. Yeah. Because
Oh no, a deformed bat.
Yes, but these two are going to attack whichever one I put on next. So this is the time. So this guy can go in the ranks, in which case he'll just take a beating in the first round and then he'll fight in the second. But he could also use all of that armor he has to play Shield Ally, which will give his armor to somebody who's already on the field.
Okay.
Or the confused stat means that this model does not attack this round. So I might do that with this one. So you'll see it's got confused.
I'm so confused.
He's not going to fight. Yeah. And then I can play another
card. And that was doing what? That was doing 4 damage.
Which I think I want to do this one. And then I'll pass over.
What's his name, Kaiser?
Fresh Paw.
Of course. Fresh Paw.
So I'm going to go first action with you. Push you right to the front. Because what I'm hoping to do is to kill all of the ones that are fighting. Because of what, he's done a first action as well, I think. Oh, boo! What I was hoping to do was to kill all of the guys that were fighting in the first round before they fought. And that should still happen. So he'll kill this one. He'll kill this one. He'll stab this one. And then that one will attack this one. Okay, and then in round 2, most of them are dead. So let's see how this plays out, if I've done it right.
So that's deployment done. Resolve it.
So he...
Oosh.
Skadoosh. The weakest one gets hit.
Of course it does. Twat the bat again.
Now that one was interesting because I've got cards left over having killed them. You probably didn't see that, but it was actually killing cards in his hand.
Okay.
And then this is telling us how the combat has resolved. So we've got some bird meat and some meat and a crappy spear.
So what does bird meat and meat make when you cook them?
Pigeon pie, mate. And she's got 3 wounds. And we got some gold and some sandstone and some XP, etc. All right.
Cool. Okay.
Look, how exciting was that? Right.
I mean, that was all right. Play some cards, and then stuff happens.
As we moved over there, we've seen this is a monster generating environment.
It's a spider's nest.
Yeah, it's got another old city to search, and in it we just find a training sword.
Yay!
Exit! Yay! And then, have we still got enough to go and fight the spiders?
Are you gonna do that? Nobody likes spiders except those that do.
Oh. So, now we've got a few more options, look. As you approach the beast, you have time to decide your plan of action. Slay the beast. Eye-to-eye attack. Play it safe and use some trickery. Brew a poison and plant it in some bait.
Yes.
Now, this is likely to be a really boring combat because we're not going to be very good at this, but they probably have no skill whatsoever. But it'll show you. Prepare to brew a poison. Let's go. So fundamentally, it's going to use the same mechanism, but it's going to use different skills. So
Was that the same hand that you had last time?
yeah, but look, the numbers have changed. So this is basically the task difficulty. This is us trying to complete a task, so we're not really fighting.
Okay. This is you brewing a potion with
this
cards.
Is us brewing a potion
stuff.
with these 6 idiots, yeah. But you'll see, look. So these guys are contributing something, but very little in the way of damage. Whereas this guy, who's got a lot more of that kind of skill, yeah. So this damage isn't real damage; it's just the difficulty of the task overcoming us. So I think what I want to do, this is a 9 hit points with 6 damage. I'm going to counter tactic, and that removes a card from his hand. So that seriously reduced the amount of cards in play. And then I want someone who can take. I'm going to get closer with him. He's just going to take the 6 damage, and then I am just going to then stack up the other people behind. So again, this functions very much like a combat, but as I said, this is set on the difficulty. So sometimes you might be trying to negotiate with people. Sometimes you're trying to dispel a magical effect. So now they're going to attack the card in his deck because he's got nothing left on the table. And hopefully we have succeeded in this. Yay! And then narratively, it's telling us to execute plant animals, eat the bait, and collapse in pain. So we get the loot without having to risk being killed. And that's
yay! I don't know how that actually worked, but yeah. But yay! Woo!
And that's us done for another day. We have gained some experience, so when we end the day, it's going to bring up
fists.
Woo, woo, hello there, beautiful people.
Fact.
Right, so people have leveled up. We've got 2 arrows because one is for the people in the village and one is for the people outside. 2 sets. We click on this. It'll say, look, these are our guys in the gang. So as they're leveled up, you gain a strength, gain a tactics, health. So you don't really get to choose, but these characters are going to grow in certain directions.
Yeah.
And back in the village, nobody's particular skill set did anything interesting there. And that's telling us we successfully gathered our mushrooms and our wood.
Perfect. Awesome. What more do you need, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have a look at this hungry on living. Undead filth must be slain.
Facts.
It's just fighting. Broken skeletons begin combat.
Fight!
I'm going to reshuffle because we got the idiot in the front.
Yeah. Andy Hilton says, I'm not sure how I'm going to sleep after this. My head hurts. Fight a potion to make a potion. Madness. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Don't worry. I'll wake up in a cold sweat.
Are you not enjoying it, Andy? Is it not? It's really different, and I like it for that.
It certainly is different. And I suppose once you get it, you get it. But oh my, that was weird. Fight the person to make the person to kill the dude. But it's cool.
I'm going to stick this guy up front because I've got the first draw.
Right.
And my thinking here is he does bashing damage, which is good because bashing damage bleeds onto the next card. So if this guy only had 10 hit points, he'd do 10 to this one, then 6 to the next one.
Oh, okay.
Now, actually, this skeleton, although it's only level 1, has got effectively 20 hit points, does 5 damage. That's quite a lot. So I am going to use the first of my confuse abilities here to make it miss a turn.
Slow him the hell down.
Because he's only got 3 cards. So I'm thinking these confuse are going to be quite useful to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably effectively make them miss a turn.
It's another broken skeleton. Slightly weaker though, right?
It's higher level, but less powerful. It's because it has equipment.
That's
The card
weird.
doesn't show you. Yeah. Okay, so now he's either going to play a tactic here. No. So this is like a zombie. Look, it's got 30 hit points. There's 4 damage and poison. Yeah. So now,
Wow.
Darius, he's obviously got a cracking weapon because he does 27 damage and 3 poison.
You need him in there.
Now he's fighting the first round. He will kill this then. He will kill that. So I think I want him to kill that, do I?
Yeah, kill it. Kill it dead again.
Right, so I'm just thinking round 1. Press Pork doesn't kill this one because he's got 20 hit points and he's 16 damage. And
then the middle one does nothing. Then
because they're confused. Round 2, he kills this one, but doesn't kill this one. This one then hits Darius, so it doesn't actually have a lot of hit points.
Do it. Just do it. Kill it.
No, I've got a new plan.
First action. You can use.
I'm gonna first action
give you any skills.
Well, first action the weak one right to the front. That might just give us enough damage, but it also means that she isn't going to get hit by any of these. Fingers crossed. I mean, you can count all this out. You can be super OP about it, but I'm obviously.
Oh man, really?
Exactly 1 damage off. Look at that. But now she's going to
kill the big guy,
and then he's going to wallop that one. Skidoosh, mate. Learned them. And then we get this.
Things happened, and we get things. +2 XP, +1 bottle of piss, shield, a bone, and whatever that is, an amulet of.
A buckler, a bone, a monster bone, mate.
A monster bone.
Thing. Mate, this is awesome. Right, so we've done a little bit of looting, so is it worth taking a moment to have a look at the chaps? Because we might be able to, by use of equipment.
The home chaps.
This is the group, and this is the
chaps.
Unallocated equipment. So, Lava came out with nothing, look. She's just a healer.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just here to do the thing. Yeah.
What's the dark amulet do? Oh.
Dark amulet. So you see where it says properties?
Yeah.
Down. Whoop, I don't know whether I can get it to stay on. It's unfortunate. No, I can't. It's a hover over thing.
Gathering.
Yeah. And Feint is going to be an ability that is going to be a skill. You know those skills we get in combat? It's going to modify some of those on certain tasks.
Give her a pokey stick.
Well, let's just check the other people don't have worse weapons than the ones we've found. So Zestovoy is using a training sword, mate. And we've got
stupid.
This one's 2-handed. That's also a training sword. 1 damage and 3 shield. That's a really bad training sword. You see how they're different? Because that's a quality thing.
They are different, yeah.
One on the left is worse than the one on the right. Yeah, he's got the one that does 3 damage. That's a terrible weapon. But he's got armor and a shield. Now his shield is a buckler for 4 armor and 5 shielding. That's 4. That's a worse shield, but has dex, and that's a worse shield. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff you get off monsters is low quality versions of things. Darius, that's why he had such high stats, is because he's just got a big chopper. He's got a mighty chopper. 16 damage.
Totally worth it.
And he's just
confirming bottle of piss and a bone. Oh yeah.
Whoop whoop. 3 and 6. So he's good. This one, 8 damage, 2 poison, 3 armor, 4 shielding. 3 armor, 4 shielding. So this is better than his shield. this one, and this one. So do we want more shielding, or do we want more? Do we want the pointed decks? Ooh.
What will a pointed dex give you in real?
I can't remember.
Real
There's too many stats.
It will do things. I don't know. More armor at this point. More armor. More armor's good because it means you can take more slaps in the face.
Big choppy. Again, despite his picture, he's got a big mouth. That is a terrible weapon. So this is the guy who did 16 damage. Most of that will be coming from his strength.
He's got two little mallets.
No, it's a two-handed weapon. So
okay. It's not two separate.
Only does 6 damage. But because it's blunt, it bleeds over, which sometimes is really useful. But most of his damage is coming from his strength. So we could actually give him a different weapon, potentially. But that sword was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's interesting to see. I'm noticing a lot of the weapons have got material.
Yes, I'm going to come to that.
You can go and break them down.
You can indeed. So the crafter has got this club and nothing in her offhand. So she had no weapon at all. I think we want to give her the two-handed spear because she's not going to have the strength to carry a weapon and shield, among other things. But spears are also they have extra abilities in combat, which means this one can take one of these shields. And I'm just wondering about weight. Weight is a thing. Oh, that's how much she can carry.
150.
Yeah,
she can carry loads of stuff.
She's quite strong, yeah. So that one. Give her this one. Which means these are left. Oh, that one had faint folklore and gathering. I think we want to give that to the gathery one, to be honest, because she's not actually going to fight if at all possible.
True fact.
Now, where do we do the breaking stuff down? I think it's in the inventory.
Surely that's weapons. Oh, is it? Okay. You can do it on the road, can't you?
You can. But I think actually it's a bad idea because it makes everything heavier. In that way that sometimes games do that.
Brother Mythos confesses he likes strong women.
He likes strong women. Absolutely. Good choice, sir. Good choice. So we could go back to the village, but we haven't really got anything to take to them. So I think we keep adventuring.
We've got a frigging bone, man. Take a bone to them.
We've got a monster bone, mate, because we're that pro. This whole area down here looks a bit monstrous, a bit mountainous. So I'm going over it. But then again, that's looking a bit frosty. So
kill the rabbits or whatever that is there on the thing.
Right. So that's what that'll be telling me. It says game there. But as we move around, so you can set up camp and gather these other things, but we don't really have any gatherers with us.
This is true.
Days just harvesting this stuff, and we've only got 5 days worth of food.
We
probably can't gather food as fast as we eat it, because these are all the warrior types. Yeah. So how far else can we move?
I mean, there must be a McDonald's somewhere around there.
Well, I mean, that's certainly one way of viewing it.
During the night, one of your villagers discovers an intruder in the granary. The doors to the storage.
Slap him!
Covered in your flour, stares at you. He has yellow eyes, sharp teeth, and smells of rotten eggs.
Right. So during the night, one of the villagers discovers an intruder in the granary. The doors to the storage are ajar, and a small furry creature covered in flour stares at you. He has yellow eyes, sharp teeth, and smells of rotten eggs. Right. So this is in our granary. I think this is where it helps to know something about Eastern European mythology.
Yeah, right. So, you've read about this one.
So if you don't,
have we though?
It's a nasty house demon looking to strangle you in your sleep. though you are not.
All right, slap it in the head then.
Still.
Right. So with the answer we're getting here probably relates to the knowledge of the people in the village. So they're saying it's a trickster that wants to strangle you in your sleep. But then you see this one's in blue. I think it's advising us to saying that doesn't make sense, and that's somebody else in the village. This doesn't look like what would it be doing in the granary. So I'm going to go with that, because I think it's probably one of these, like, you know,
the creature looks
house demons.
But seeing as you did not kill it, it eats a few more bites before leaving. To your surprise, you find a couple of your people feeling blessed the next morning.
All right, not strangled, because that would have been funny.
yeah. And I think as the dice roll goes on there, so there's a friendly house demon, and these two people have gained skills, and this one, and we've gained some dark wood as well. But it could just have easily have said, you know, it carries off with two of your children in the night, or eats them, or whatever, you know, that is a thing. So we're still exploring. La da 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 da.
Thea is not an easy place to grow up in, but alas, grow up we must. One of your children has matured into a young adult and is ready to join your village and rebuild Thea.
So one of our stackable children has become an adult.
One day I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So do we want a warrior, a gatherer, or a crafter?
We've got enough warriors, right? Surely.
We need gatherers. We need more beans.
We need gatherers. We need cherries and meat, so we can add it to meat.
This child became this gatherer. It's quite a radical transformation there. Yeah. And then we do the rite of passage thing, and so the population has grown there. So if we go back to the village, gather. So that's this new one. It's the best gatherer we've got.
Sweet.
So
and in the morning, 2 men are pregnant. Awkward. Says Mr. Hilton. Walks.
So the string.
Yes.
This is showing. See the progress bar. We were 40 of 60 because we had these other people doing it, but she's got 60 on her own, so she can actually blitz through this on her own.
Blitz move.
So it's better to just leave them. Yeah, absolutely. You probably don't need all that much string. Yeah. Oh, we did a learning of the one-handed axes, didn't we, John? But look,
learned it, mate.
You can make axes out of metal and wood, but you can make it out of bones and rocks.
Can we use the mushrooms?
There's no mushroom option in the hand axe.
No mushroom axes. Oh, boo.
No mushroom axes. I don't mean, I don't mean that's permanently the case, but we have put that person to work. So I think I'm coming back. Oh, devil bats.
What you found?
Devil bats, isn't it, mate? Look at that. Beast.
Isn't that a Cliff Richard song?
There are 2 deformed bats, 1 ravenous crow, and 2 others.
Others? Oh, got to watch them, mate.
Do they come towards us? No, they don't. We'll go towards them then, right?
Fight!
You found the potion brewing too complicated, so we'll just fight them, right?
It's the same thing.
Crazy!
We're going to get spanked by insects and deformed things.
I seem to remember the bees are dangerous. Oh, that's why they're dangerous. I wanted to show you what spears do. Now the NPCs are going to show us. Fortunately, he's played the bee first.
Have they got bum spears?
They've got bum spears. The way spears work is you do damage on deployment.
What?
I know, right? So I think.
Can you not attack diagonally? Diagonally. With a spear. Attack to your left opposed to your right, sort of thing. You do damage on. Can you kill? You can kill that then, can't you? If you deploy spear woman.
Yeah, I think they might also go in front. You know, if I put him down, it might have gone there and stabbed it. Now I come to think about it. I haven't done this for quite a while.
No.
I'll try it next.
It's got a fair few cards. Oh, the full back. Oh,
So if I do this, let's see if it does deploy in front of the bat and stab it. Yes, it does. So that's what makes spears really useful. And that's what's good to have a mixture of different weapons.
That's cool. Death on deployment, but there's more. There's another B in that deck.
Yeah, it might be over here.
Gonna come and stab Gonna come stab her in the head.
I think we're all right because they've only got 2 cards in the first rank
in the tactical. Oh no, sorry. Tactical was the reserve. I don't know.
And this guy's weak, so I'm just going to confuse that one. So it doesn't do any damage.
So we're fighting the beast instead of fighting the potion to make the potion, and we may be bum speared by a bee. What a Saturday night, says Andy.
Woo! Speared by the bees.
True fact.
Mate, in the interest of the bizarre world that we inhabit, I was having a nap this afternoon, and I woke up feeling that I had tried to pee in a Pringle tube.
What?
And you know, tube of Pringles. I couldn't get to the bathroom, so I peed in a Pringle tube, and I couldn't get the lid on.
No fucking way. That
was my dream, right? Mate. That was my dream. John, it was a dream.
Okay. I thought you were confessing that. What you got?
A leather jerkin, mate. How about that?
Everyone loves a jerkin. I love jerkin.
Now, almost certainly, actually, that is better armor than any of us have got. So he's got a smith's apron. What's this? 9 armor. He's got no armor at all. No armor at all. No armor at all. So let's go with giving you some armor. That's a huge improvement.
That's a very good point, Andy. Once you pop, you can't stop. So that's why you couldn't fit the lid on, mate.
Couldn't get the lid on. That's it.
Because you couldn't stop.
Mate. Oh, it's treasure.
What's happened?
Treasure just appeared over there between turns. That's just telling us we're gathering string and stuff. We get back there in 1 turn.
You stumble across some ruins of
an old city. What's this?
Contains a closed stash. It
takes stash. Big mallet, I think.
Get the mallet.
Get the mallet. Equipment. Doctor's Medicus. Does 6 blunt damage, but it's 2-handed. Is it?
We've already got one of them, but it looks more like a... Yeah.
Well,
it looks better.
Yeah, but if you see the big difference is the weight.
Oh, the weight.
The weighs 150. The one on the right weighs 220.
Much lighter.
This one's made out of wood and iron, and that one's made out of wood and quartz. We did give everyone here a weapon, didn't we? Yeah,
I think so.
That's that. How are we doing on time, JB?
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's we got like 8 minutes left.
8 minutes left. Right. Well, interestingly, I have not earned enough food by killing things, so I'm in danger of starvation. Woo! So I can move back now. Go back to the town, and I will, in the interest, will rejoin the town. Bloop. Because a really critical part of this game is, although you start with one of those expeditions,
right,
you can have as many as you want, but your village will get attacked at different points by wandering monsters. And you can compose those.
You need to mix up the group.
You need to mix up the group, absolutely. And people do get beat up. So now when we look at equipment, we brought this stuff back. It's worth looking at kind of the whole tribe, handing out the equipment that we need and then trashing the other bits. Now, some of these are people that were on the expedition, which is
This
these
is
guys.
true.
Julia wasn't, and maybe she should have been, because she looks like she's got a good sword and a decent shield. We left a good warrior at home.
Wow. Somebody had to guard it.
I tend to think the thing to do with these like random villages that you have stuck back at home is to give them really big, cumbersome, heavy weapons. Because the one time they fight, it's for the village. It's like lose the game. Do you know what I mean? Like some of these people are going to die anyway, so give them the really big clubby weapons for when a dragon attacks your village. Is how I tend to view that. But so I'm just handing out junk to the villagers. That one's a 1 damage. Yeah. Nobody really needs that. So then if we go to inventory, equipment, where do we can break it down. Oh,
break it down.
There we go. So that training sword will get some leather. So then in terms of production, crafting, look, we can make axes.
What can you make? Yay! Are they any good?
The axes that we can make, almost certainly they're terrible, John. Well, we got a load of dark wood though, didn't we? But it doesn't. But look, that's just for the catalyst. I don't think this matters at all. I don't think it matters at all. What matters
make a bone axe.
So
you need 7.
If we use gold and then iron and then there, it's telling us we're going to make an ornamental axe. Which
that doesn't sound.
Go on.
That doesn't sound particularly, hitty.
It says it'll be an axe that does 8 damage, but also gives you 2 will, which is used in social and hex or magic. It's quite heavy, but the point is that this isn't about making the choice about what we want. This is about the materials that we have.
True fact.
Could use wood as the secondary material, so that's given us a different ornamental axe. But dark wood, which we've used on the half there, tends to give you poison. So you see that's got the damage and the will and poison.
Sweet.
We don't have 4 iron, so we don't really have the option to put anything else. That doesn't look like a terrible weapon, but is it necessarily better than the weapons that we already have?
No. Just trying to build a thing for the sake of building a thing.
It's just a vehicle whereby I can show you, look, that's just your standard.
Yeah. But a thing, and you get a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a chance that we'll get a good or a poor quality one based upon the buildings that we have. So in terms of the meals, we came back with some mushrooms. I think the mushrooms can go in the vegetable slot. Yes, they can. And then the herbs in there, and then the wood in the bottom. And look, we'll make
beautiful
mushroom soup. Or meat stew. Or
pieces of random red meat that you had.
Whatever bigos is, vegetable stew made of sauerkraut, and any veg does the job. There you go. So, even right down to this stuff now, and this all starts to matter because, as we saw in the other area about the village, the more varieties of food you have, these are stackable bonuses, and there's some quite significant ones in here. It's like everybody gets an extra hit point. Bearing in mind, some people got like 5 or 6. That's not insignificant.
True.
Yeah. So what you're not going to get to see within the time frame that we've got tonight is just how much this game is really story driven. So what you saw with that like little demon in the house, there is a macro story going on here where the world is ending, and you will bump into that. But we're just kind of on the turn 9 here. It's just trying to give us a feel for how the game is played. But there are going to be some mighty quests, and there are giants to the land, and there are dragons, and all of those kind of things.
Cool.
And it has all of those kind of almost like real world problems. Is you'll get, I don't know, things like a Baba Yaga. What you're going to do about it? She's kidnapped some of your children. But if you try and kill her, she might murder the children. She might burn them alive, and that might mean that their parents commit suicide, etc.
Oh wow!
You know, it kind of, it's got a really strong narrative dimension to those problems. Somebody's child will turn into some vile abomination at some point, a demon. You have to decide what you're going to do about that. And that child, that's going to be the child of one of these other people in the village that you have. You know, one of these people.
Duncan's asking, are you sure you're not actually still dreaming? Because this is some weird stuff, man.
It is. And the thing about it, because it's an Eastern European mythological story setting, is so much of it is unfamiliar.
Yes.
And that makes it the kind of the horror of Hansel and Gretel, like witch fattening up children to eat them, is kind of lost on us because we've been told that story as a children, and it's been kind of made into cartoons and so forth.
So
when you come across them as fresh stories as an adult from a different culture, they're like, this stuff is terrible.
What is this madness?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had, before we wrap up, it's about that time, guys, unfortunately. But Andy's asked, and I'm going to say it's a request that should be honoured. He's asking Sonic the Hedgehog next week.
I'm afraid I don't have a console in my entire life. The last video game console that I owned was the Atari 2600.
Binatone with Pong.
Yeah, no, you had more than Pong on there, mate. You had more than Pong on there. But not a lot more.
Not a lot more. And there you go. So that's a weird, crazy European game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was something really different to show you if you like those kind of, you know, character development, all that kind of stuff, especially the crafting side of things. There's a lot of micromanagement in here if you really want it, but it isn't strictly necessary. I wish there was time for you to see more of the stories, but there's a lot of risk in it. You know, you do lose people. Nobody died in this, but you do lose people.
No, it's
for a long time.
Survival game. As much as it is anything else, you know.
Surviving the apocalypse. And as you get going, you have 3 or 4 of these camps. So you end up sending an expedition going over here because you're looking for dragon leather. You're looking for dragon leather because the baskets that you make, I didn't show you this, one of the kind of really important ways that you improve like your gathering skill is you put a craft tool in here. So you can make gathering tools, but you can make them out of increasingly good quality stuff.
Of course.
Speed with which you gather resources. So, you know, in that great way with a lot of these kind of developmental games is you really need to spend your time in the early game getting the tools to get better at collecting things.
Well, this is a very true fact. We're in overtime here. I'm gonna tell you a few of the comments before we do actually properly.
Thank you.
For watching, everybody. Andy Hilton says, "Good show, and always a laugh, except bar the burning children and piss-filled Pringle cans." Duncan says, "Cheers, chaps. Your mate Bill is had an actual. He says I had an actual Pong console to attach to the TV. That's crazy."
Mate. Yeah, Bill's a little bit older than the rest of us.
And yeah. And Andy Hilton says, I had in television. Anyways.
We will see you on Tuesday, guys, for the live show.
And I will sit in the corner and not talk again, most probably. Who have we got on next week?
We have got Ken, Miniature Wargaming Warriors from the Plastic Crack Podcast.
Sweet. Extra ginger.
And we'll have a new video game for you to look at. I say new, an old video game for you to look at next Saturday night for those that are interested.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Woo!